family, Chef Lorious here. Welcome back to the Love Lab. Today in Calibama cooking, I'm answering the calls and the cries of my people, and I'm making chicken and dumplings. Let's get this done, y'all. This is some serious comfort food. This ain't nothing to play with. Come on in the kitchen. Let's cook. Listen, right here in this pot, I've already got some butter melting, okay? To that butter, what I'm gonna do is add these vegetables here. I've cut up an onion, some celery, and some carrots, because you need your vegetables in chicken and dumplings. Now here I've used one of my favorite shortcuts, okay? You know, when you're making chicken and dumplings or anything, you can always just get yourself a nice big pot, right? And boil your chicken and everything and make your stock. Some days you don't have time for that. And let's just be real, it don't always happen like we want it, does it? And you know what I did? I bought 2 rotisserie chickens. You can do it with just one, but I have kind of a big family, so I bought 2. Took all the meat off the bones and the skin off, and to the side I have in a bag all of the bones and the goodies so I can make some more stock. There you go. All right, now that this butter is melting, I'm gonna go ahead and drop in these veggies. Oh, this is good comfort food. This is a good winter meal. Actually, it's an any time of the year meal, but it's something about it just says a warm winter day or a warm winter night. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna season this with a little bit of garlic powder. Okay, a lot of garlic powder. Okay, and I'm also gonna add to this a generous pinch of salt. The good part with garlic powder is you get the flavor without having to actually cut the garlic up. So it's another shortcut. If you don't feel like cutting up garlic, or you don't have a jar, if you don't, whatever, get you some garlic powder. Make sure you have salt, garlic. And I'm gonna add some onion powder as well. I gotta find a big one of these onion powder things, y'all. Ooh, that butter smells good. I don't know if that's the butter that smells good, or the vegetables and the butter. I'm gonna go for vegetables and butter. Thank you for 100. I don't know why I'm goofy, but I stay goofy and y'all keep watching, so you're encouraging me. Now, while I'm waiting for these vegetables to get just a little soft and a little translucent, because we don't want them hard, we're gonna start on our dumplings, okay? This is the part that tends to get people a little, you know, caught up and hung up, the dumplings. Have no fear, the dumpling fairy is here. In here, I've got about 1.5 to 2 cups of self-rising flour, okay? You can use all-purpose, you don't have to use self-rising. This is a little bit of baking powder. And I'm gonna add about a 1/2 tablespoon or so of baking powder. And the reason I'm putting that in there is I really want a nice, light, we want our dumplings to have a little fluffiness to them, okay? And the baking powder will help with that. Now, if you're not using self-rising flour, use more, okay? Use more baking powder, like use up to 2 tablespoons. But this was a 1/2 tablespoon in there because I'm using self-rising, okay? Generous pinch of salt, very, very important. Generous pinch of salt, okay? Now I'm just gonna give this a little mix. We're going to put some butter in here. This is what I have here, some melted butter. And we're also gonna add a little bit of the chicken stock once we get it mixed up in here. So I'm just gonna wait 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dump my chicken in here. The onions and the celery have gotten pretty much like I need them. The carrots will take a little bit longer, but I'm using baby carrots, and I actually chopped them up. So you see here? Look at that. Whose grandmama used to make chicken and dumplings? Who loved their grandma's chicken and dumplings? Who wishes their grandma was still here to taste their chicken and dumplings? Yeah. Oh man. All right, guys. So here we go. You see how we've got this all coming together? Oh, that's looking good. Let's hit this with some black pepper too. There we go. And the beauty of using a rotisserie chicken is it kind of gets you past the biggest part of the work. You know what I mean? The chicken's already cooked. It's got a decent flavor in it. You're still gonna season it. You know, you ain't gonna never leave the seasoning of your meats to nobody else. But it's got a good start. You know what I mean? So you're not starting from scratch. And that's really important because it's hard sometimes when you start from scratch. I mean, we can do it. We can do whatever we need to do, right? That's what I thought. All right, we're gonna add some flour in here and get a roux going. Use a little bit of this butter that we're gonna put in our dumplings. This is a whole stick of butter. I only need about 1/2 of it. All right, and now I'm gonna start adding flour. This little measure is a 1/4 cup. So I'm starting with about a 1/2 cup-ish. This is about how thick you like your chicken and dumplings. And you'll be able to thicken it later as well, don't forget. Oh yeah, this is good. And also remember the dumplings themselves are gonna thicken it up also because it's just a flour product. All right, you see how we did that? All we're doing is getting that flour mixed in there so we lose the raw flour taste. Just cook it just a little bit. You don't need to burn it. And if you need a little bit more fat to help absorb it, just hit it with another drop of that butter. Or you can use vegetable oil, any kind of fat. These dishes to me scream butter. And I feel compelled to answer their call. Now we're gonna go ahead and get our broth going in there. I'm gonna start by adding my water, okay? Be careful with this. Now we're gonna let this come together and come to a boil. I'm gonna put these packets in. You can do anything you want for chicken broth. I usually don't buy the pre-made, only because I just usually have my own. But you know what? For emergencies, I buy these little packs. And when I need it, chicken broth. All right, so once this comes to a little bit of a boil, we're gonna keep going with our dumplings. Ooh, let me open, there we go. I think the directions on these are like 1 pack for, I don't know. Put enough in so it tastes like you want it to, and if it don't taste like you want it to, put in some more. We have put together our self-rising flour, a little bit of baking powder, and some salt. Now I'm gonna add in this butter, because you need a little fat in these things. I mean, come on. You know, a little fat goes a long way, don't it? So look at them hips. My husband's gonna hear this video, and he's gonna say, did I hear you say? And I'm gonna say, me? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of this broth out of here, just like so. It's gonna get the flavor of the chicken in there. You can use plain old water, you can even use milk. It's really not that serious, but I'm just gonna do it this way since this is what I'm working with today. All right, a little bit of that in there. And stir. And this is one of those things where I can't tell you exactly how much liquid to use, because the truth is you need enough for your dough to come together. Now this is not a complicated dough. See that? Can you guys see in there how I'm just kind of bringing this together? I'm gonna get a little bit more. And if you want to season your dumplings, like if you want to give them a little different flavor of like I don't know, sometimes people may want to put a little thyme in it or something. You can do that at this point too. I usually just keep it plain because it's going to get the flavor of the broth in there too, and that's going to be delicious. So here we go. I'm just going to take a little bit of flour right here, and a little bit on here too. Okay. Oh, move the top there. There we go. See here, and I'm just rolling these out. Now you want to roll these out nice and flat. I'm actually going to cut this in half and do half of it now on this, and then do the other half as well. So. And we're just gonna cut these up. Now you don't have to do this fancy. Some women just take or I shouldn't say women, some people just pick it up and drop pieces in. That's fine too. Well, I guess the accountant in me anyway, that's how I'm doing it. Use a knife if you don't have one of these, it's all good. Now, I put a little extra flour on the top at this point to make sure that I can get them in, and then we're just gently gonna drop them into our boiling liquid. Now, as we drop them into this boiling pot of goodness here, they're gonna sink down a little bit, but don't stir, okay? You're going to push them around, all right? So you see how we've got a nice gentle boil going? Look, see I'm just dropping them. As this continues to cook, they're gonna sink and cook, and I'm just gonna push them. All of our dumplings are in there now, and you see how I'm just pushing this aside, pushing this around so they have a chance to cook. And I want you to see something. You see how these dumplings are starting to puff out? That's what's happening with the self-rising flour and that little bit of baking powder we put in there as well, making them nice and light and fluffy. Don't stir it rough, just push. We're gonna turn this down just a little bit and let this just simmer away. Let it simmer for about, I would say 15, 20 minutes, as long as you think you can last, all right? Until the flavors are as rich as you want them to be, and those carrots are nice and soft. So remember, that's the other reason you wanna cut them small like I did, because you want to give them a chance to get soft. See that? See? Look. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. All right, so in this last little simmer time, everything else will get nice and soft. These flavors will finish coming together, and this will be the dish you dreamed of. One last thing we want to add is a little bit of cream. You can use milk, or you can use heavy cream, or half and half. Some people even use cream of chicken soup. That's fine. I just like to use some plain old cream just to top it off, like that. This is 2 cups. I put about, well, I think it was a cup and a half in there. I put just a little bit under that. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna give this some time together. Let it simmer away, and then we will be ready to feast. All right, now we have let this simmer for a good little bit, and I want you to notice as I stir it now that the dumplings have cooked and I'm stirring, I'm always going towards the bottom to make sure nothing is sticking, because something can stick to the bottom, okay? That's all right if it happens, but just keep stirring and moving it so that nothing's getting stuck to the bottom. Look at that. Oh, thick, beautiful. Let's get a taste. Okay, look at that. Oh yeah. I like it with a lot of dumplings. You see that thick heartiness right there? That's a meal. That's a meal. Let's give it a taste. Let's see. I also, while I'm letting it cool before I burn my tongue, I added some thyme in here as well, the seasoning. And a little more salt and pepper to taste, okay? Because I saw that the broth I used was sodium free. I need some salt. God, the dumplings are so light and they're just beautiful little pockets of love. Ooh, can you see the smoke? Wow. Y'all know what that means when that hand go up. He's good all the time. Look, let's check this carrot. This is one of the bigger ones. Make sure, look at that. That's what we wanted. Now, if you want your carrots to be extra smushy or something like that, some people like them really, really soft. You can cook it longer, or you can, in the beginning of the process, you can cook them longer before you add the other things to them. But let me tell you something right now. This is the kind of dinner food make your husband give you some sugar. You know what I'm saying? Let me go get my husband so I can give me some sugar with this chicken and dumplings. All right, family, thank you for joining me. I will see you guys next time right here in the Love Lab for more goodies. Happy cooking.